Well, let's begin with insecurity, whereas Nigeria appears set to defeat the Boko Haram terrorists. It seems it has another one to contend with. The 2023 Global Terrorism Index has listed the proscribed Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, among the 20 deadliest terror groups in the world. It also says Nigeria has experienced a decline in terror activities, having been ranked the 8th most terrorized country globally in 2022. Now, dropping from its 6th position in 2021, the report placed IPOB in the 10th position among the deadliest terror groups in the world, while Islamic State, operating around Iraq and Syria, was ranked top on the list. Babajide, let's begin with you on this. What's your assessment on what just been reported? How do you see this? How does this affect Nigeria as a polity? Let's start with that.
Yeah, we have to admit that even out of negativity, positivity sometimes spring forth. This Global Terrorism Index report shows clearly that terrorism is on the decline in our country, and that is something to be happy about. You know that the Northeast was the epicenter of terrorism in our country. Boko Haram's brand of terror, with the military making tremendous gains, making real progress, with more and more Boko Haram fighters coming out of their camps to surrender to the armed forces. It is normal for people to expect that the rate of terrorist activities will go down. And this is what the GTI is reflecting. It has gone down in our country. But at the same time, we are seeing IPOB moving, becoming more and more dangerous. Nigeria is now ranked number 8 in the world. We were ranked number 6 in the world last year. For years, we were number 3. Boko Haram, based on Boko Haram activity. So if we are now ranked number 8 in the world, after having occupied the 3rd position for years, it means that real progress is being made.
Recorded.
And no one can hide it. As I always say, look, when I criticize the military, people will say, they will call me names. Sometimes paid agents will be abusing me. But today, if there is nothing to report, will you go and say that Boko Haram attacked an army base? So we have to just tell ourselves that truth is the best. We are seeing progress. No one can hide it. No one can hide it. The truth is, in the Northwest, what we are facing largely in the Northwest is banditry. To them, banditry is not really terror. Yes, we have designated those guys as terrorists, but in terms of their modus operandi, what they set out to achieve, it fits into the definition of banditry and not terrorism. So people can argue that, as we are making progress in the Northeast, there is a scale-up of activities of terrorists in the North Central and Northwest. But by the global definition of terrorism, what is going on in that area simply is banditry. So you can't argue that that is actually terrorism.
Right.
Real terror, you know what real terror is. And that's what ISIS carries out in Iraq and Syria. That is what Boko Haram too began to do, and they've done largely. They are not even interested in any peace. They take people's lives. They have their ideology and they stick to it.
But don't you see this affecting Nigeria's effort in combating terrorism with this the listing of IPOB as number 10 in the position?
No, that is to encourage us to work harder at exterminating them, because they are reporting that the year 2022 was their biggest year. That year, they carried out 40 attacks and killed 57 persons. Some of these attacks are never reported. So it's possible that they even killed more people than this. 2021, 26 attacks, 34 deaths. Their attacks are largely on the armed forces, the police, the army. Those are the people that they attack. And it is terrorism in the real sense, because you get to the checkpoint, you do not ask questions, you just open fire on people. You are not out to steal from them. That's not what 2G. 2G is not interested in simply killing people. 2G is likely interested in making money. So this is the thing. I think in all of this,
more or less, for part of the government. It's a call to action, more or less.
Yes, to deal with the the expanding threat,
right.
the expanding threat from the southeast,
right.
which is represented by IPOB.
Okay, Apsukwa, let's have your thoughts on this now. With IPOB being listed as a terrorist group, how do you think this will affect their activities, especially in their fight for Biafra independence?
Well, it's their own. If it's going to affect their clamor for, for them to have their own country or state or whatever, I'm not sure it's going to affect them in any way.
Why
because they will continue, the agitation. Don't forget, particularly the agitation was more about based on the incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, who has been standing trial for terrorism charges, even though the court has even freed him, but he was arrested again and taken back to, to prison. So they will continue. It's just like Jide said, it's just the fact is that they attack more on military formation. And, they became very wild in 2016 when the military started their action using Operation Python Dance, to try and quell them. So they became very angry, and that was when you started seeing them attacking and police stations, and after police stations, military checkpoints. Security
outfits.
And then they even went as far as even going to prisons, correctional centers, to try and attack those places until they graduated into INEC offices. So the agitation will not just end like that. People were thinking maybe after the election, things would normalize. Though we've not had any attacks since the election started, the campaigns and all that. We've not really heard about the attacks on all these checkpoints or police station or INEC offices. Perhaps maybe the security officials have been able to quell the situation, get more boots on ground, to try and see how they can stop them. Because right from day one, we've been here, I know here on Journalist Hangout, we've been saying that it's either the government would find a solution, but the major solution has to come from even the people themselves, whereby the traditional rulers will talk to, the people who are involved in it. Because some of these people are people that they know, We see videos of them even moving around in streets and they were hailing them recently before they started the vicious attack in 2016 and 2017. And afterwards, you started seeing where they hailed them on the streets. So meaning that there are people that you and I will know. So for now, the attacks have gone down. But now the major problem now is that the global terrorism index, they've entered into the Guinness Book of Record, because once you enter into the GTI, it means that you are doing something that is wrong. But the joy in this GTI's report is that in terms of terrorism, Nigeria has dropped. There's something that the federal government is doing that is good,
right?
And they just have to continue with it.
Sustain that progress.
For the IPOB, they have to do more. In that it's either their clamor is being looked into, it's either they give Nnamdi Kanu freedom and see if it will end their so-called agitation completely, so that we know that IPOB is removed from this global terrorism index completely, or they find another way for them to end. Well, it's good that this is happening, so the federal government will have to go back to the table and begin to look at ways they can quell the crisis in the Southeast, because the sit-at-home, people are still sitting at home on Monday. You might not know that they are there, but the fear of the unknown is just there. They might not be attacking, but on Mondays, people still sit at home. Because I know that in the Southeast, there was a time that even they had to move schools because they were sitting at home on Monday to weekends. But I know that now they've started going back and say, okay, no more weekend, schools. They try to find a way to, accommodate.
Right.
So I know with time, IPOB will find his own way. From 10th position, they might not even be there anymore. So it's just for the government to just find a way, a permanent solution to
issue,
it.
Yes.
And address
Babajide, with what we understand, clearly some of these terrorist activities have been linked to, some have said poverty, lack of economic opportunities, and all of that. So, but what do you think the government needs to do to address these underlying issues? What can the government do if this is what is fueling what we have on ground in our polity?
I think that for the terrorist groups that are not likely to negotiate, the government should sustain the military campaign. I believe that Boko Haram, for example, can be defeated. It may take time, but Boko Haram can be defeated. Boko Haram is a lot weaker than it used to be, and the kind of daring attacks they used to launch on military formations, they've lost the capacity to launch those attacks. In the past, they will attack even a super camp, Nigerian Army super camp, dislodge the soldiers there and steal their weapons. It's been a long time since they carried out such attacks. Imagine Boko Haram stealing MRAPs, mine resistance vehicles from the army. And each of those vehicles cost in excess of 400 million naira. So if you steal such a vehicle or you set it ablaze, it's a lot of money lost. So, but now they are unable to carry out such attacks because Tucano precision jets are really raining bombs on them with the kind of accuracy that we lacked in the past year. So I'm confident that we can defeat them. In the Northwest too, I'm confident that we can still defeat these guys. I know that some of them too have relocated to the North Central, Abuja, Lokoja, Kogi, especially the boundary between Kogi and the FCT, that's Abaji. We have a good number of them there, and the boundary between Kogi and Nasarawa State, a good number of those terrorist groups have settled there. We need to move in, deploy the right resources, the right number of surface troops and the Air Force to exterminate them. Because the Yoruba say, so if you say your mama no go sleep, if the baby says the mama no go sleep, the baby says no go still sleep. So if they don't want us to have peace, then we should serve them the kind of justice that they deserve.
Yeah, but in as much as this might be a fast approach to ensure that we have this solution at our feet, but wouldn't you agree, perhaps, that the government needs to look inwards in terms of social development so that people can have things to do? Because when they say an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Yes,
so when you do not provide for the needs of the individuals of society, they will find ways of being engaged.
Before you complete the question, I know where you are headed. There's a writer that said an idle hand is the devil's bolster. There are many parts of our country where people have not seen the effect of government.
Right.
Our people are so poor that some have not seen a 1,000 naira note before. And these are the kind of people that are vulnerable to being brainwashed and used by Boko Haram fighters, especially. Even in the Northwest, people are volunteering to work for Bello Tuji and other bandits. They tell them that, look, if you join us, you will make money, your life will be better, you can be like us and the rest. So government presence has to be taken to the nooks and crannies of our country where people can feel the effect of government, where problems can be solved and all that. That way, Boko Haram will be denied their recruiting source. I remember in 2016, January 2016, when I went to Adamawa State, I discovered that Boko Haram was giving soft loans to young people. And after the soft loans, once they are unable to pay back, they are conscripted into the Boko Haram army. When I first said that thing on air, some people thought I was crazy that, oh, Jide has come with his stories again. But the army spokesperson confirmed it about a month later and began that they warned parents that they should be careful of the movement of their children and all that. So these things happen. Did we not see videos and pictures of ISWAP around the islands of Lake Chad, distributing rice and even cash to people? You know, even during this Emefiele cash confiscation policy,
Some were holding the
on the highway, Boko Haram was distributing cash to people. They say, okay, if Emefiele is inflicting pain on you, and some journalists who do not know their left from their right are standing by him, we know that you are going through pain. This is money. Take. Can you imagine Boko Haram or ISWAP becoming like politicians who give empowerment to people? So in such a situation, don't you know that some people want to join them?
Yeah, it's going to be appetizing.
What they are trying to do is, see, government has forgotten you. They don't like you. We are the alternatives to the government. If you agree to do things our way, we will not hurt you. And any community that they occupy, that's what they do. They allow you to go into your farm, access your farm, allow you to do your fishing, but you pay tax. It is when you fail to pay that tax that you and them will enter the same trouser. So government has to move in.
Right.
When you move in, so that you deny them this access to recruits.
Right.